be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. Do the same at the Grizzly Gentleman, same promo code, 10% off at checkout. Both of these are fantastic deals, and they help support the show. What is up, Planeswalkers? 36 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena after a small break slash hiatus slash whatever you'd like to call it. The reason for my few days of not posting videos is that it is currently the start of the semester, so I'm in the third year of my doctoral grad student program, so things are going to be busy, and things have already gotten busy. It seems like potentially it'll be super front-loaded, because everyone's getting used to doing online stuff and whatnot, so hopefully it's not going to be a semester-long trial, but we're going to try to make sure I still get daily videos, but if I don't, is no big alarm. That said, some cool news has occurred. Field of the Dead is banned. Oh, baby, I love you, eh? Oh, I'm so happy about it. So Field of the Dead is gone. That means that the ramp decks are going to have to succumb to the traditional pitfalls of ramp, in that sometimes they're going to miss their heavy hitters, right? So they're going to just draw their ramp cards, or sometimes they're just going to draw their payoffs and don't have enough ramp to start with. For what it's worth, I think that latter category is not going to happen as often, but the fact that the ramp decks are no longer going to be able to just sit by and coast off of the value of Field of the Dead means that the mid-range and other control decks are going to have a little bit more potential in being able to see play. Additionally, something that you might not realize is that other forms of ramp decks can also see play now. Previously, it was just like the Rainbow Golos Fields decks that were the ramp decks of the week, but now you can actually just play a mono green or even just a normal Simic ramp deck, but you can also do a Rainbow Golos deck if you're, for example, looking to win with Gates, right? Gates is still a decent package. It's relatively cheap for people to buy into, so I'm hoping that not only will Field of the Dead's banning bring about more mid-range variety and control variety, but also for more ramp variety, so it's not the same type of ramp every single time, even if ramp is still going to see a decent amount of play. And I do suspect that ramp is going to still see a decent amount of play, because Ugin and Ulamog are just fantastic top ends. I hate that they are, but you know, whatever, it's fine. Today we're playing a control deck. We're playing Torment Black. I've loved Chromatic Black since the first time I played it. I think this is originally is the brainchild of Ali Eldrazi, or Ali Eldrazi, depending on whatever. This version is quite a bit different from some of the other versions I've seen, and that is mainly because I have seen a lot of players include main deck Ugin and Ulamogs. I had not gone that route because I wanted the main deck to be kind of strictly control, and then I can have the sideboard for various options that I can get in any given game. So we're going to hop into it. We have 2 Instant Bloods and 2 Thoughtseizes. I do like Instant Blood. I think Instant Blood is very valuable, even if we have something like a Solemn out, right, or a Golos out. Sometimes, well, for Solemns, we often just don't care, but sometimes their one threat is stronger than our single Golos, especially if we have additional Goloses or Mastermind's Acquisition or something. Like, if we already have other things, often Instant Blood is going to be fine. Additionally, it's a nice 1-mana way that we can deal with things like the Auras deck, which often has a lot of anti-target cards, anti-destroy cards, you know, giving things indestructible, making them hexproof, etc., etc. So having something that we can just answer by saying, hey, I'm not going to destroy it, you have to get rid of it yourself, I think is very valuable. The 2 Thoughtseizes are strong, and you might be asking why I'm only playing 2. The main reason is that aggro is still a thing. That 2 damage is real. Now, we do have technically a few ways of gaining life in the deck. I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm not comfortable enough. I haven't played enough with this deck against aggro decks for me to say we can bump this up to 3 or 4. That said, it takes whatever we want, and that's fantastic. A single Erebos' Intervention. This card is just generally strong because it's modal. We can gain a bunch of life and kill a creature at instant speed, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, it does mean that if our opponent is playing just a traditional burn deck, and they don't happen to have any creatures, say we languish them or something, then we might need to kill one of our own creatures, but generally speaking, that's fine, especially if it's a Solemn. Or we can exile up to twice X cards from graveyards. Now, this is still fine. There are still some sacrifice decks around. There are still, Uros are still going to be running around. That card's still incredibly strong. So still having that ability to yeet some things out of graveyards is nice. 2 Heartless Acts. I just hate going back and forth on Heartless Act and Eliminate. I kind of just wish that we had Doomblade. Now, you know, Doomblade has its issues, but still, Doomblade hits everything that isn't black. If you're going against a black deck, just side it out. I don't know. I mean, even Doomblade might not be... I wonder what would be the best. Probably Go for the Throat. I'm gonna talk about two mana black instant kill spells during this video because I think it'll be fun. But yeah, Heartless Act for right now, it has ups and downs. 3 Mazemind Tome. I've still had some people say that they prefer Treasure Map here. I cannot anymore endorse Treasure Map over Mazemind Tome in specifically this deck. It allows you to get the card draw up front if that's what you're looking for against something like a control deck, and it allows you to for free continue to scry and be able to gain that life. And I think that all of those factors combined really help Mazemind Tome be better than Treasure Map in this deck, in my opinion. The fact that you can still, you know, have your answers on curve. So, you know, your turn 3, you're still able to, you know, cry the Carnarium or something. Turn 4, you're still able to Vraska's Contempt. Turn 5, you can still play Golos. And that entire time, you're still using your Mazemind Tome to make sure your draws are smooth. I think that's invaluable. I think that against control decks, you know, you necessarily aren't going to have something to do every turn. So being able to just say, all right, well, this is just immediately, I'm going to be able to get card advantage here, is fantastic, as opposed to waiting with Treasure Map. And then, of course, the fact that you get to gain life is just fantastic. It kind of sucks that you have to exile it. I'm sure there's some power reason for that, because technically, like, you can only get the life if you exile it, so you can't like blink it in response and still gain the life, yada yada yada. Although I guess it says exile. I don't know how that works. Anyway, I just like Mazemind Tome. 2 Cry the Canariums, 3 Murderous Riders. Theoretically, we should have enough early game removal that we don't need 3 Cry the Canariums. That said, we still might. You might be asking, why is this not Pestilent Haze? You might be asking, why is this not Witch's Vengeance? I haven't seen enough heavy creature tribal as the aggro decks for me to want Witch's Vengeance. There are goblin decks. There are absolutely merfolk decks. I've seen elf decks, you know, things like that. Even vampires and zombies. I've seen those, but there are still a ton of aggro decks that aren't so cohesive in their tribal theme. So having that additional -1/-1 isn't necessarily great. Pestilent Haze is, you know, fine, because you can choose to hit planeswalkers. I don't deal with that often, but you know, that is a consideration. But I just prefer the exile effect. Murderous Rider, it kills things, and it can gain you life potentially by playing it as a creature. Chromatic Lantern, the name of the deck. It makes it so that we can cast these multicolored things on our sideboard. 3 Languish, better Cry the Canary. It doesn't exile, but this hits all the things we want it to hit. It doesn't. I already said it doesn't exile, but you know, it's not Extinction Event. Extinction Event does, of course, allow you to choose even or odds and then exile them. But generally speaking, Languish hits pretty much all of the things that we want to hit. It would be better, obviously, if we had Damnation, but Wizards of the Coast decides that's not nice enough, so whatever. Mastermind's Acquisition allows us to get anything in the main deck or the sideboard, and when we have things like Cabal Stronghold to make a ton of mana, it's great. 2 Vraska's Contempt, it exiles things and gains life. 4 Solemns. I absolutely adore this card. I don't remember who suggested this card, but whoever did, top-notch suggestion, because it just does everything we want in this deck. It makes our swamp count higher so that we make more mana with Cabal Stronghold. When it dies, it draws us a card, which we want because we have a decent amount of cards that only work in certain matchups. And it's a blocker or an attacker against the aggro or the control. So it's just very helpful. And then last but not least is Golos. Golos just makes us either have another Cabal Stronghold when we have a lot of swamps, or we get a swamp if we have a lot of Cabal Stronghold, or if we have both of those and we just need more cards, then we get a Castle Locthwain to draw some cards. Additionally, with Chromatic Lantern out, we can use Golos' ability to get some free spells, potentially. And of course, what was I... Alright, and of course that brings us to the lands. 4 Cabal Stronghold are a must. If you're playing this deck, you have to use this swamp. You have to, because it's the same place. You have to. And then, of course, 1 Castle Locthwain, because it does help us at gaining some card advantage in the control matchups, just in case things go bad. This is the sideboard. I'm already at 10 minutes, so I'm not going to take too long. Grafdigger's Cage against the... graveyard decks and potentially Gabos. We have a nap problem right now, so you might see me freak out. Sorcerous Spyglass against any deck that is either using combinations that involve activated abilities or a lot of planeswalkers. Necromantia is essentially at this point just for graveyard decks, or just for combo decks, sorry. Because Field of the Dead is no longer there. It also does mean that if we were going against a ramp deck, like this card is even better now against ramp, not because, like, even though we aren't hitting field, now we get to hit other things, right? We get to name Ulamog, we get to name Ugin, right? We get to name these things instead of having to deal with field first and those others later. So I do like Necromantia here. Freaker's Libation is just to deal with any random enchantment matters deck. It only hits one, so theoretically this could be something else. Ashiok helps against ramp decks because they are using a few more ramp cards now, as well as graveyard decks. Kai's Wrath, it's a board wipe. Thragtusk, it gains life, and it leaves a body around. This card is one of the best to get. Thought Distortion against control. Chromatic Orrery when we want to, frankly. Ugin if we frankly don't need Orrery and we just want to wipe the board or just start killing our opponent. Zacama if you want to win with style. Ulamog and... wait, I'm done. Ulamog if you have the mana and would like to kill two things in particular. Banefire if you have the mana to just kill your opponent. Heal Edge Intervention if you don't have enough mana to kill your opponent, but your opponent has enough damage on board that you really need to heal, or if you're coming up against shrines. Heal Edge Intervention can destroy a lot of shrines. And then, of course, Torment of Hailfire. This and Banefire are a little... they're in here for reasons. Torment of Hailfire is a little bit easier, I think, to get to a win. However, it can be countered. Banefire cannot be. So in many circumstances, if you're playing against blue, you're picking Banefire every time. If you're playing against non-blue or they don't have anything up, usually it's Torment of Hailfire, because even if you don't kill them outright, I mean, for what it's worth, Banefire might not kill them outright. Even if you don't kill them outright, you are at least crippling them heavily. So that is the deck. I'm online. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I have played with this deck. I have 3 match wins, but this was a little bit ago. All right, so let's shut the hell up and play. Sorry for how long that deck tech was. I try to keep them relatively short, but this one I wanted to go really in depth because I really do like this. Like this deck. So let's see, advanced search. Text destroy target. It's an instant. This hand is a keep. And it is exactly black. And its CMC is 2. There are not very many. A surprisingly small amount, actually. What? Shout out to Portal. Play Assassin's Blade only after you're attacked before you declare interceptors. Bant Ramp, perhaps? Spell piercing me, bro? Nope. Possibly Bant Ramp. Could be Bant Spirits? It could be Merfolk. No, Merfolk doesn't have a reason to run white, because Coco's already in their colors. Let's see what we're drawing. Thoughtseize. Yeah, I mean, that seems fine to me. We're going to play the Cabal Lantern first, because sequencing is nice. Hopefully this doesn't get countered, but... I mean, it could be Bant Control. I mean, they're taking their sweet time. Why are you taking your sweet time? They have things that they can cast. Ritual of Rejuvenation. What? Alright, Bant Approach. Okay, so it's Bant Control. Interesting. I don't think I need to use Tome for more cards. I know all of your cards, so I know you have an opt to play. They can't, like, trick me or anything. Innocent Blood, I'm not going to need. I'll probably try to get Necromentia as soon as I can. In fact, should I just do it now? I don't know if I should just do it now. 1, 2, 3. Next turn, if I Solemn here, go to 5, 6. Or if I draw another land, the next turn I can Acquisition and Necromentia. So I think I'll do that. Yeah, I know you have opt. Like, interesting. Yes. Sorry, what? Cast down. Cradle of the Grave is bad. Rule Cut is bad. Digging deep. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. I'm also gonna hit them first. But I'm looking for a land here. Yeah, I'm honestly glad I did that. I'm even more glad. Okay, so they have one card. So this one card has to be a counter. And so you might notice that there's a lot more cards that I can cast without Chromatic Lantern, and that's on purpose. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just Necromentia and then Approach. We really don't care if there's an Approach in their hand. Because them having a zombie, not nearly as impactful as them getting to draw a card and replace it. Approach the second zone, so we're going to see whatever's in their hand here. Settle. Okay, sure. 2 approaches. How else do they win? March of the Multitudes, Uro. That seems to be it. Let me just triple check. I can click these because there's one in the graveyard. March. 1. I kept net as well. 2, 3. So they are running a full 4 Uros. So 4 Uros, 1 Kefers, and a single March. Alright, that's fine. Although, frankly, I do have nothing going on right now. And to sell the wreckage does mean I lose my value. For what it's worth, I'm still glad that I scryed when I did. Wait, sure, I'm just gonna attack. They might settle me, but it's whatevs. Thins me out a little. Do I want to cast my second Prom Lantern? I don't think there was anything in the deck that made me care. No, I don't care. And I can't cast this because this will get exiled. Devouring Shadow. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. You lose life equal to that creature's toughness. It's black for the casting cost. But I mean, that's not terrible. Especially since it's for toughness. They're gonna draw a lot of cards. Luckily, I get to draw a card here. You notice that the tracker is here. That is because people vastly voted to have it on. I mean, Monster Molecule is instant speed. Yeah, this is one of the issues of Crown Black. You're in a situation where you just draw a lot of lands. I mean, Golos I could cast and immediately activate. Masterminds, I'll take another Solemn too. I will also take this. I have enough mana that I'm fine just casting this and activating it without using Stronghold. Ooh. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, Victim Knight is also decent. Planar Cleansing. I mean, I knew Planar Cleansing was in the deck. I knew Planar Cleansing was in the deck! That's exactly why I shouldn't have played Cabal Lantern. I knew there was a reason. I'm just stupid. Alright. We might be deaders. I made bad choice. Oh, Innocent Blood, baby! I don't like that. Because now they have enough to get it back. Although they're not going to be attacking me with it this turn. Oh, I'm so dumb. I mean, Erebos Intervention would be great. Vraska would be great. Like, it would be fine. I am at the point where I need to start worrying about... Heartless Act does help. Where I need to start worrying about March of the Multitudes, because it's instant speed. Sure, dude. Yeah, they're just doing that to fill up their graveyard a little bit. They're at 17 cards. I feel like it's an arrow from hand. I think honestly, Go for the Throat would be the strongest card for Arena right now. I'm looking for a few things. Mazemind Tome, Erebos Intervention, Vraska's, Innocent Blood. I mean, I'm looking for Masterminds. Masterminds is what I'm looking for. Aki would be huge. That's not an Aki. I'm gonna die. I mean, I made an error at some point. It keeps bleeding. Okay. Well, I'll kill that. Hope that my opponent doesn't have March of the Multitudes. Because I do die to that. I'll cast this, and hope that my opponent is dumb and gets greedy. And cast March of the Multitudes before the end step. I don't think they're going to. Okay. We are currently alive. We are currently presently alive, and we don't have a clock, but what we do have is a way to gain life. Okay. The issue will eternally be March of the Multitudes. Don't you dare tell. No! Alright, we're dead. They are going to march for a ton. Ah! Rip. I mean, losing the Chromatic Lantern wasn't that bad. Losing the second Mazemind Tome really, really crushed. Because I needed to use it to draw. It's possible I shouldn't... Yeah, it's possible I shouldn't have used the Mazemind Tome as much early. Not sure. Definitely not sure. Seems good. Double Mazemind Tome action. Against aggro, we can just gain life scries. Go away. Okay, it's a mono black v mono black. But his type of mono black, very different from mine. No. Sure. Don't need to cast it right now, I don't think, though. So I assume they're just going to pass here. Really? Color me surprised. I do like Solemn. I'm willing to just play Solemn. Yeah. So for these ones, we are going to try and keep them away from ultimate. You want to see what I try? Nah. Cool. I'll have a decent amount of mana next turn. So Golos is probably going to die, but I think that's fine. With 5 swamps, I think I will get another Stronghold. Really? Alright. Gary, that's a fine number. Absolutely fine. I can Languish this. I'll draw. Am I gonna scry? Yeah, I'll scry. I don't want this. That's fine. Cool. I've already played a land this turn, so I think I would rather Languish here. One left, 2... Yeah, that's fine. So I suspect that my opponent's going to play one of these. Cool. So let's see how bad the damage is. We got double Murderous Rider, so we're not too worried about... Well, we're a little worried about that. Huh, alright, that's fine. Cool. Yeah, I think it's this, and then this. for a swamp. Yeah, we wouldn't have enough to do cool things. So hopefully my Golos lives. I do have Murderous Riders. Obviously, I'm worried about additional Garys, but one Gary has already been used. And they hit themselves for 5. Okay. Choop. Fuck you, dude. Leave my Golos alone. It's a shit. How could you? Now the Ebon Legion, sure. 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 This is still cryable. Yeah, so I'll kill the 2/3s. Ooh, no, I won't kill both the 2/3s, because then this will get bigger. So I'll kill this 2/3, I guess. Yeah. Lost 4 more, yeah. When did I lose 4? That was 2, wasn't it? Am I stupid? Am I actually stupid? What the fuck? What did I lose 4? If a player lost 4, they lost more than 4, you dumbass. Eh. Okay. 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 The Citadel giveth, the Citadel taketh away. Get yeeted. I mean, they could have attacked. They could have attacked first. I don't know if it helped them. They were at 3. They could have attacked, gone up to 5. Yeah, I'm not sure. Amaterasu. We got a weeb. No. No, two-lander? No. It's fine, though. I'm gonna eat this. Potentially, grave error. Grave error. Get it? Grave? Oh, fudge. I think this is a discard deck. So this has to die. I'm gonna kill it right now. Next turn, if I have to, I can cry. Otherwise, I can just Chrom Lantern. Chrom Lantern will let me have Golos on turn 4. You, dude! Well, that's unfortunate. So no matter what, Golos is gone this turn? Is that right? Yeah, because they just get to Thoughtseize me here. Damn. Alright, I mean, we're playing Chrom Lantern. We're gonna get attacked with the Arcanist. Arcanist is gonna cast Thoughtseize. Fortune Serpent's interesting deck. Peasy, alright, well, you're getting cried next turn. They might take Cry. They might take Cry here. Cry would not be a bad choice. They could Tunnel Vision to Golos. But Cry honestly would not be a terrible choice here. Yeah, obviously it's the Cry. Next turn they can easily just Innocent Blood. Do I give them the free Innocent Blood? No. They had another Crux in hand the entire time. Alright, we're playing off the top. It's fine. Stop. I will say I do like this deck. I think it's very well made. I've seen it before. This is not the construction of this individual. Well, I guess it could be, but it is most likely not. They got another Village Rites on that. I mean, yeah, like it's a well constructed deck. Oh, they're choosing that instead, sure. I was like 4 here as opposed to the 6 I suspected I was going to take. No, I'm looking for a Bullwipe here. I mean, as much as having those lands would be like good, I do need a Bullwipe. Solemn. I think I'll accept Solemn. I don't wanna. But Solemn also helps my Stronghold for next turns. I would have accepted a Golos as well. It doesn't mean they can use their Innocent Blood, but at least I get to draw. Another Village Rites in hand? Damn, dude. Oh, I'm dumb. I thought I know they cast one from hand and then one from the graveyard, but I thought they had 2 go into the graveyard. I mean, I would like to see the entire card. Wizards. I think I might be dead. 2, 3. Yeah, I'm dead. Rip. Well, that's unfortunate. Was a what? 2 losses and a single win? We were what, 3-0? Yeah. So we were 3-0, and now we're 4-2. So 1 win and 2 losses is not exactly great. Let's play another one. I probably shouldn't, but I want to try. I believe the deck only runs 24 lands. I might be wrong. I might be running 25, but it is kind of necessary. This is not a good hand. This hand's fine. Eat one of these. A lot of black being played right now. I wonder why. mean, yeah, that's fair. I was very curious as to what they were going to take. My opponent went first. They made a land drop. They kept a 2-lander with a Thought. My opponent has literally no one to blame but themselves. Counting that. Oh, by the way, I did my nails. Or I got my nails done. I did not do them myself. This time. Sounds great. Well, I don't care about literally any of these cards, so I'm going to yeet that. A lot of mono black running around right now. No, they're probably going to take Acquisition. Maybe Vraska's Contempt. Yeah, Acquisition. Makes sense. Luckily, all of these cards are just worthless against me. I do not care about them one bit. I probably honestly will cast Locthwain. They kept a 2-lander too! What is... Okay. I mean, they kept a 2-lander. I'm actually not going to worry too much about drawing cards right now. Not only is there a lot of black decks running around, apparently there's a lot of black decks with poor players running around. I don't mean poor like financially. I mean poor like poor decision making. Yeah, I'll take 5. So Vraska Contempt here. Oh, nice, a Witch's Cottage. It's trash. Okay, I have a ton of mana. Nothing to do with it. I would like something to do with it, please. I'd like an Aki, a Golos. I'll even take a Solemn. Mazemind Tome. Anything but a land so that I can stop. Like, I need to get rid of these swamps so that I can use Castle Locthwain without dealing a ton of damage to myself. My opponent has 6 mana now. You have nothing to play. For real? 19. Oh, okay. Sure. I'll eat that. 19, 23. This deck really only has 24 lands. Yeah, I mean, my deck only runs 24 lands. Right, 19. Plus 4 is 23. Plus this one. Is it worth drawing a card for 4 life? Probably. %75% of my deck right now are non-lands. I mean, you can see this. Well, hopefully. By the way, I have no idea if I can, like, change the size of this stuff. I'm sure I can. This is ridiculous. I'm, like, getting actually upset now. 77.5% of my deck are non-lands right now. opponent going in for the kill. Feel free to take my Cry of the Canarium. Sure. I mean, I have enough mana that I can, like, win on the spot. If I can get a Mazemind's acquisition. Are you fucking kidding me? Sorry. There were several draws in a row, in which I lost 75+% chance. Fuck you, game. I had 7 lands left in the deck. I had 38 cards and 7 lands left in the deck. My opponent kept a 2-land hand with garbage in their hand. And they drew 6 lands. And not garbage. I just want to triple check. There are 24 lands in this deck. I had 7 left. I had 17 lands in hand or on the battlefield. I'd like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Fogwind, for the continued support. If you'd like to join them in supporting the show, you'll find links in the description below. I do, of course, hope you've enjoyed this alleged video. If you did, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, I'll be one. Why? What have I done to deserve this?